Hi there, Winning Ways fans, and welcome to another edition of the most famed show on television, Winning Ways. And nice to be back with you. We've got a full program today. We're going to be chatting to Peter Gibson on the Charity Turf Challenge, and apparently he's signed on one of the best players in the Charity Turf Challenge, Dees Dynan. Got signed up, lad.
Did you get Dees on?
Yeah, I got Dees Dynan.
That was always
had a huge fee for him because, you know...
He's a celebrity.
Yeah, he's a celebrity.
Yeah, so I'm pleased Dees is on. Yeah. And I just glanced at the fields. It's going to be tough this year.
But they've made a change, which I'm not going to tell you about, which makes a huge difference. Peter Gibson can tell you about it.
Okay.
But on top of that, we've got some great footage. We're going to show a little bit of the Grand National. We're going to show Winks. There's lots of fun coming up. But more importantly, let's get Arsenal out the way first.
Always get Arsenal out of the way first.
Yeah, because there's no comment again this week, and they don't deserve comment. Get beaten by Newcastle.
They've got the worst record away from home in the league. It's just atrocious. But I think it's, as the Latis like to say, ups for Man City. They won the league when Man United got beat at home to West Brom. I never saw that coming. Man City were too good for Spurs. They played very well. Chelsea were 2 down and came back to beat them. So there's a lot of strange things happening at the bottom of the log.
Yeah, I think the strangest thing is that Manchester United can get beaten by West Brom. That's
second played by
and give the title to their crosstown friends. They love them. You know, they're all great mates. And
it was just delaying the inevitable if they got a point or so. You know, they had to get to 89 points, and there was no way they were going to get there. But they've had a good year so far. Mathematically, Liverpool, Spurs can still beat them. They could run in the,
Arsenal can't beat them.
No, Arsenal can't beat them. And I think Chelsea still can mathematically. But Arsenal are only 2 points ahead of Burnley. That's a worry. But going down, tonight we got, I think it's West Ham versus Stoke.
Yeah.
Bottom of the log.
But we will win the UEFA consolation prize.
The Tupperware Cup.
Yeah, the Tupperware Cup's something else.
Something else. You're right.
Yeah, we're going to win another cup, but it's made out of plastic as well.
Well, that's the James and just before we end it, obviously fantastic job by Chad Leclerc and the South African athletes, the Commonwealth Games, and shocking job by Sharks.
And Sharks and the Rugby Sevens team
didn't get a medal, finished 6th.
They were pathetic.
Yeah,
pathetic. 14-0 up against the Poms and let them beat them. Yeah. That is, it should be actually a day of mourning. You know, the Sharks says there's a year of mourning because you want to watch that rubbish. I told you last week. Yeah, I said you Mitchell will come here and wake them up.
Yeah, by 30 points.
Coaches make rugby teams.
Yeah, they certainly do.
The Sharks are so one-dimensional. I've said it all the way through the season. They might be able to bruise their way to a victory here or there, but there's nothing exciting about watching them, and it's a pity because no one even goes to that beautiful stadium. No one goes.
Now you've got to try and get garner the interest to come and hold up the Stormers next week. I've got to see that happen. Yeah.
Well, you know, that will be the battle of the useless.
Just don't forget Kevin Shea. You know, Shea, he's not here this weekend. You know, he's down the coast. PE. His daughter completed the Ironman.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? They swim 3.8 k's. They cycle equivalent to Maritzburg and back. And then they've got to run from here to Toti or something.
And Kevin's having his birthday today.
Yeah, Roxanne. So Roxanne did it. And I believe Robbie Hill, talking in racing, Robbie Hill's son-in-law did it as well. Some fit kids out there.
Time we got out our bicycles. Comrades is coming up. Alesh Naidu needs a bit of support.
Push. Yeah, Bosch couldn't beat him in a sprint.
No. Well, what do you expect?
Let's talk horses.
I think we're ready to go. Let's go and have a look at 3 to follow. Right, well, we're back with 3 to follow, and we always find a couple that we think you should keep your eye on, and we've been pretty accurate so far, and we love the barrier trials. We think they make a huge difference because you get to see these horses, and that's much better. Paul, keep your hand to yourself.
Thank you very much.
First one we're going to go Wednesday's barrier trial, and this saw 2 very nice colts in action. Salt and Dennis Dreyer had one in here too. They bowled along to the post. We picked up Salt because he's by dynasty, and 5 furlong certainly wouldn't be his game. And he looked big in the parade ring and certainly in the barrier trial. But let's go and pick him up at the start.
Yeah, this is Salt on the outside, as James says, a well-bred horse. And this barrier trial quickly spread into two groups because Dennis Dreyer's horse, I think it's Outlands de Moor, very fast. And up alongside it is number 7, which is, of course, Bardine or something. I can't even see what I've written here.
Bardine.
Yeah, and there is Salt.
Bardine had a barrier trial.
That's
so
right.
It just shows you how much they come on from it. Salt's in 3rd.
Yes.
And
the rest are way out of it, James.
Yes. Dennis's filly is beautifully bred Captain L out of Western Wintermere, Roxanne. Now that's in front now. And Salt gets a wake up from young Gates.
Yes.
What do you call him? You got a nickname for him?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Jason Gates.
I would call him Bill.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, he gets a wake up call and ends up going and running on right up to Outlandos Darmoor, and both of them finish well clear. Interesting part. Now, I'll tell you what is well worth looking at to the barrier trials, which I've now found out. Times make a big difference.
Yes.
This time was very, very quick. 58.6. Your filly won the next barrier trial.
That's right.
And she's a 3-year-old and quite decent.
Yeah, very quick filly.
Same sort of time.
Yeah, very
When you see horses come out first time and run that type of time, beat the rest by 4 or 5 lengths.
Those front two were very impressive. And James, as you say, we're having all these winners come out the various trials. It gives you an idea. When these horses run, you know that they can run.
Well, you see the first race yesterday that they did run. That horse won his barrier trial, Dennis Dryers.
Nice horse.
Very, very nice horse and run well. Now, the next one we're going to go and pick up is not a barrier trial. We're going to Turfentine. And the one we've got here is Chimichurri Run. This was Turfentine, first race and Saturday. Let's go and pick it up.
Yeah, this is for Chris van Niekerk, and it had found the bedding a son of Trippy, a beautiful chestnut. He gets him out well, does Bling Kumalo, and you can see he's on the inside fence. He's got the run of the race, and then the speed is on, and just his greenness, he drops himself to about 5th or 6th, or the rider allows him to drop 5th or 6th with the speed on. It looked a very competitive race, James, and they had supported this horse. I just find that in the stretch, you'll see it in Chris's colours, it's just a little reluctant to take the gap.
He doesn't seem to really know what's going on this horse. He's getting shoved along now by Kamalo, and nice to see him back. But it's beautifully bred, this horse. He's out of Spice Gold. I think Stuart Pettigrew trained her. She won a group race. And bred by Drochenstein, by the Ruperts. And really, really nice colt. I think that he cost quite a lot of money. He cost over R1 million, 1.1. But he's now just plugging away and not really being able to get to them. So expect him to improve a lot from this run.
Yeah, I really think. And the topmost won it for Dory Sham. Very good work, but keep an eye on that third horse.
Right, we're going to move on and have a look at the next one, and we go to a barrier trial on Sunday at Scottsville, and the ground was very heavy. So we're going to take this with a pinch of salt, but I was very impressed with this horse. I think that he's a really nice horse. He ran 3rd in the trial, Rock Spirit by Rocco Gibraltar out of a Fastnet Rock mare. Now, when you can buy these type of horses under R1 million and under R500,000 million, you know that they've done really well, because this is a nice horse. Let's go and pick him up at the start. He's drawn on the inside, drawn 2 in the Chigwell colours, and bred by Claverflake.
Yeah, he's slightly dumb coming out of the gates, and there, funny enough, I had a filly in here, Goeie Las in the orange silk. She moved right up to the leaders, and I thought, whoa, great run with her. But Inver, what's it called? Invermore, this Inverroach, sorry, this horse, this Ideal World is showing good speed. That had won a race, and this comes back to race against him. But it is a soft track. And the horse that we found here, Rock Spirit, has dropped a few lengths off them, James.
He's behind the horse with the white cap, and absolutely, that's Chapel Cleave. That had a barrier trial as well. And you'll see he moves behind yours in the orange silks. No, that's not yours on the orange silks.
Yeah, I'm in the orange silks. Yeah, that's Goeie Las.
Oh, that's right, Perfect Peter.
Yeah, sure.
And then Perfect Peter goes clear on the inside. Watch this horse. He switches him in, and he's absolutely motionless, is Richard Fourie. And this horse makes up the ground with a beautiful action. Just on the bit, gets up there. Beautiful.
James, the horse who won the gallop was a beautiful colt. I had a good look at him afterwards. This is Along Came Polly, the Group 1 winners full brother, I think.
Yeah, but he'd had a
barrier trial. He was very
had a
down.
run, not a barrier
sorry,
trial.
He had a run. But he's come on. Wow, this was impressive too. But as you say, Rock Spirit was just given direction.
Yeah, just let him stride along, and he did it all for them. Let's go and have a look at This Shouldn't Happen. Well, that's what you'll end up looking like if you don't enter a lot of entries in the Charity Turf Challenge, because that's the type of face you end up getting. So we'll be talking about that later on. Let's go and see the plum of the week.
Shuka Meese has moved up into second. Jackman, Polar Ice, then comes Dan the Lad. Glider Pilot, Ghost Town and Massador Man, but the leader into the final 250 is Full Mast. Shuka Meese is second. Then comes Polar Ice, Dan the Lad, Warriors Rest. Then towards the outsiders, Glider Pilot and Massador Man is built up ahead of steam. Into the final 100 metres they go. Here comes Massador Man and Glider Pilot. They've come to fight it out on the outside, but Massador Man has won it. Glider Pilot second, Shuka Meese third, and Ghost Town has gone to miss, ran fourth, but has gone to miss straight off.
Well, this horse, Matador Man, is a really good horse. He's shown that he's got wonderful ability. He likes the long straight because he drops himself out, he misses the break, he doesn't jump. He's a lot like the other horse of Sean Terry's a sprinter. But you could have got 4-1 about this horse, you know, at any time. Yeah, Trip to Heaven.
Yes.
They both miss the break, drop themselves out and lob along at the back. And at the weights, this was a plate race, and remember it was the Henneman Air Disaster race, and it's a good moment for us to remember lots of our mates that were on that plane, you know, Warren Bailey and all types of guys, Michael Coetzee, people that most people don't even know today, you know.
Yeah. Very tragic.
David Bullock and there were a lot of Ginger Masterton, anyway, and all the people that were involved. So it's wonderful that the Basil family keeps this race going and keeps finding a slot for it on the calendar, because it's well worth remembering these guys. And the Matador Man certainly made it a memorable race, because that you had to have a bet on Interbet. We're going to take a little break, and we're going to be back.
Hi, my name is Gregory Blank. I'm an ex-stockbroker and involved in private equity and stock markets. But my passion for the last 40 years has been horse racing. I initially started off as an owner. We then got into breeding and then into trading. And obviously by default became a punter. The most exciting part, apart from leading as a winner, is having a winning bet at the same time. Obviously that's not always easy, but with the help of Interbet and their transparent information, it makes trading and betting a lot easier. I've had over 38 Group 1 winners and continue to try to strive for that thrill of having a winner. The thrill of owning a horse and winning a race is indescribable. But if they're serious about it and serious about punting, is to get a leg in and really follow Interbet to the max. It's the only way they can be ahead of the game.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of Current Affairs, where we've managed to see the super filly Winx win again, 25 straight now. We're going to show you that race in a moment, and we'll also be bringing you the latter stages of the Grand National and talk about other things that are going on. James, firstly, your impression on Winx.
I don't do impressions.
Okay, well, your take on Winx.
My take on Winx is she's very good in Australia.
Very good anyway, James.
You're sold by Magic Millions.
Yeah, that's right.
Now that's,
they had a big day, Magic Millions. It's their segment, and
Yeah.
there are a lot of big winners come out of there. But James...
And obviously, Magic Millions first week in June. We've got to get ready for that.
That's right. There's a big sale
lots of
coming
excitement
up.
coming there.
A lot of top horses, and you'll be showing us some stallion prices that have come up, and there's some boom horses going through. But this race proved that she's getting older, but she's getting better. And one's got to just say, well, where does it stop, James? She'll get a break now before she goes to the next carnival.
Well, they're talking about going for the fourth Cox Plate.
Yes.
As a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. She is a machine. This filly is a machine, because when you watch the race, you just watch her just drop out of the back. She races wider than anything, so she must give away a few lengths.
She must.
The horse that tries to beat her, Happy Clapper, goes down the inside. So that's raced, I think, 3 or 4 lengths less than her. But she just puts him to...
she quickens up with a good horse. You'll see the grass next to her, and she just walks away from it.
Waltzes away.
Waltzes away. Let's go and have a look at this. And this is the Mighty Winx from the start. She's drawn to the outside, if not on the outside.
They close the gate behind, and this is it. The Longines Queen Elizabeth Stakes, and they're off and racing. And a good line out, Galo's Shop in particular with Classic Uniform and Consensus showing speed. Winx is back last. In the early stages, Galo's Shop presses on with Classic Uniform, Consensus, and coming through right there on the fence. Odeon pushing forward a bit deep, followed by Ambitious. A couple further back to Success Days. Then Happy Clapper from Humidor. And Winx is back last. They go past the mile crossing. And Galo's Shop, as expected, makes the running from Odeon. Consensus leaders back third at the 1400, and Classic Uniform fourth. 2 further back to coming through. Then the Japanese import Ambitious. Further back to Humidor, sliding through on the rails on the inside of Success Days, the horse from Ireland. 2 further back to last Saturday's Doncaster winner, Happy Clapper. And the champ, Winx, is last of all, and about 8 lengths off the lead, which is Galo's Shop, a real 2,000 metre specialist. Galo's Shop leads at the 1,000 by a length on Odeon. Consensus tucked away third. Then Classic Uniform further back to coming through. Now starting a bit of a run here is Williams on Ambitious. He's making the move a fair way out, and he sends the stallion Ford Ambitious around the outside of the field. Then coming through Success Days, Humidor shuffle back a bit. Happy Clapper and Winx, they're both back last as they go to the 600 metre mark. Galo's Shop leads narrowly from Classic Uniform the outside, and Ambitious striding up on the outside. They're followed just behind them then to Odeon from Success Days coming through. Consensus, Winx getting to the outside. Humidor the inside of her. Happy Clapper needs luck as they straighten up. Galo's Shop tries to kick. 3 lengths clear, but Winx is getting into her work, and they're broken clear from the rest. Galo's Shop in front, but Winx moves up on the outside. Winx takes the lead from Galo's Shop, and here's her second, Queen Elizabeth. This is a silver jubilee moment on the throne for 25 consecutive wins to equal the record of the Great Black Caviar. Wins it easily. Galo's Shop held second. Happy Clapper third. Humidor got going late for fourth. Then came coming through. Good gap back to Consensus from Odeon. Classic Uniform. Ambitious couldn't sustain the run, and Success Days last.
Monumental. Well done.
Well, what can I say? It always concerns me being on firm tracks, spotting good horses a dozen or more lengths from the 1,000. But she's just an exceptional athlete, and she creates so much attention, and I'm just so elated. I'm so proud of her, so proud to be a part of it. And what can I say? Bernie, I'm lost for words.
Indeed. Equals Black Caviar's record, 25 obviously straight, the 18 Group 1s now. I'm curious, at what point in the early stages of the career did you think maybe she's going to be as good as something like Black Caviar?
Look, you don't imagine that, Bernie. I mean, you've been around racing long enough. You don't dare to dream that big. it's just developed, you know, and it's like a relationship. It's developed, and she's just continued to blossom under Chris Waller's management and his team, and Ollie Coolman, her spelling pace. There's so many cogs to the wheel, and I know I get the dream right here today, but God forbid if something went wrong, it wouldn't be a good place to be. But she's so exceptional. She overcomes everything, and what a pleasure she is for sport, you know.
Indeed. I mean, jockeys out there, they're creating tactical manoeuvres to try and, not necessarily outwit you, but trying to encourage their horses to be able to beat you. When you're many lengths back in the field, what are you thinking about that?
Well, I know I've got the engine to round them up, but I can't do it on my own. But Ambitious made a bit of a mid-race move, which, you know, wasn't to bring me undone. It was Craig rode him to his strengths, and it played into mine. But, you know, I guess I've just got to be aware tactically, but the bottom line is she's got 10 or 12 lengths on her rivals. Makes it easy.
20,000 here, go and enjoy it.
Well, there we are, the champion, and the 6-year-old mare is absolutely outstanding. James, again, she hit the firm track, she came from last, and she paralysed him.
You know, interesting, the Gold interviewing said to him, you know, what do you think of the other jockeys trying to outwit you, outthink you? I reckon they could race on outside fences, filly, you know, so he doesn't have to worry about anyone trying to outwit him. He just comes from last and just runs them stone dead.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's so wonderful watching great horses run, you know, and this is one of the greats. Just
Street Cry, another tick in the right box, you know, after Zenyatta and great horses all over the world by that stallion.
Yeah, we're very good with the fillies. Oh, my goodness gracious. Yeah. Anyway, from one incredible race to another one, and there are lots of you out there, or there's some of you out there that don't agree with the Grand National or whatever, but it is a tremendous test of courage, horsemanship, stamina, everything that goes into jumping 38 fences around for you know, this type of distance. It's just an amazing, amazing race. So we brought you the last 800 because what is fantastic about it is that this horse hung on after going as far as they went to win by the shortest of short heads. It was close. Yeah. I mean, very close. And you see how a horse can tire up that hill at Aintree when they get the elbow. Let's go and pick them up.
Bless the Wings and Pleasant Company. Valser Lido 4. Annabelle Fly is in 5th, and about to go into 6th position is Gasline Boy. 2 left to jump.
So 2 to take in the National. Pleasant Company with the lead. Tiger Roll is only a length in behind. Bless the Wings is back in 3rd. Then came Annabelle Fly, and Valsalido is next in 5th. From the staying on, Gasline Boy 2 from the end. Pleasant Company makes a mistake, and Tiger Roll has come there cruising to the outside. Tiger Roll now into the lead from Pleasant Company. Bless the Wings in 3rd, then Annabelle Fly. There's the then clear from Valsalido and Gasline Boy. Tiger Roll by 3 lengths, and he's doing it easily from Pleasant Company in 2nd. 10 lengths away to Bless the Wings. Annabelle Flies back in 4th as they run now towards the elbow, and it's Tiger Roll who's out in front under Davy Russell, the oldest rider in the race. He sends his mount clear at the elbow by 5 lengths to Pleasant Company in 2nd, Bless the Wings in 3rd, then Annabelle Fly. They're halfway up the running though, and it's Tiger Roll under Davy Russell for Gordon Elliott. He'll win his 2nd national if he can see out the final 100 yards. Pleasant Company's gaining ground. Tiger Roll seeing it out. Tiger Roll, maybe just from Pleasant Company at the line. Then Bless the Wings and Annabelle Fly 3rd and 4th. Clear from Milan's Bar. Then came Road to Riches and Gasline Boy. Valsalido, Verlion Rouge. Raz to Marais, Seaward Midnight.
Well, there you are, Grand National, a race that we look forward to every year, and it's always filled with drama. This one was the drama right at the death, because it just hung on.
Just hung on. It's beyond him, the trip, but interesting. He went off at 10 to 1 because, as you know, he had a Cheltenham record, James, and the trainer, it's his 2nd one he's won.
Gordon Elliott.
Fantastic. The owner owns Ryanair.
Yeah.
And
hope he gave away.
He said when they bought him to go to Cheltenham, he said, "What have you bought me this little rat for? This is a little rat, but it could jump." And he said he never really believed in the horse. Then when it won this race, he said it's his 5th child. He said he's got 4, and this horse is coming home to the farm, and it was free drinks on his plane back to Ireland. He took
Good
the jock back. They all went back together.
Yeah.
And the Irish don't really like a drink, so
It could have cost him a few pounds.
could have cost him a few pounds. So
That was an expensive
Tiger
trip.
Roll, very good horse.
Well, the second horse is trained by Willie Mullins
Yes.
and ridden by his son. So, you know, it just shows you there was
Willie
the Mullins
Mullins,
family. Gordon Elliott ran third as well.
Yeah.
And the first woman home, now the woman I've always wanted to win this race, never won it, ran fifth, Bryony Frost. She ran fifth in the race. So, you know, it was a very, very good race indeed, and certainly one well worth watching every year. Right, we've got a lot of other news. First of all, let's talk about Australia, because we're getting ready to go to Magic Millions, a big tune sale. And Highland Reel's going to shuttle there. I wouldn't have thought that's a good move.
No, who knows?
He's-
They won't flock to buy a stamina horse.
Well, that's the problem. You know, you get horses like Uncle Mo and the High Chaparral. What's the
big boy?
Giant's Causeway. Or what,
Yeah,
no,
what
Giant's
about
Causeway?
Galileo they didn't want, you
They couldn't sell them.
Yeah.
And so he's going to stand at Swettenham for $15,000. He was a 7-time Grade 1 winner, travelled the world. South African buyers will love to buy them, because you know what, we can buy those horses. You can't buy them anywhere in the world, but we can buy them in Australia.
But Coolmore sent a lot of good stallions to stud this year.
Coolmore's stud roster this year is unbelievable. Obviously, they've got Fastnet Rotten, who's got a private fee.
Yeah.
But then listen to this lot. Merchant Navy, okay, stands at 55,000. Caravaggio, who I think the Australians will fall over.
Yeah, great
to
sprinter.
buy.
Yeah.
He's 33,000. Churchill, who I would be falling over.
Yeah, I'd love
buy
to get a Churchill.
Can you imagine?
Lovely.
Yeah. Pierrot stands at 88. Well, he's proved
He's
himself.
proven himself,
okay?
yeah.
And then there's American Pharaoh.
What's
Now,
he,
who's
James?
the Australians not going to buy American
Well,
Pharaoh?
they've got enough respect for him. He was such a good racehorse. So what are they charging to go to him?
66,000.
Okay.
Air Force Blue, I'd love to buy them.
Yeah,
I think that they'll be good, but the Australians will buy him. He's only 11,000. And then So You Think, who's had 3 Group 1ers and
flying.
Group 1 winners
Absolutely
in his
flying.
first. He's really flying, and he stands at 44,000. So it's
That's a roster.
Quite a roster, isn't it? That Coolmore roster, and you got to love the Coolmore boys. They put it together.
James, these guys who retire horses early, look at the Sydney Cup. A 9-year-older, James.
9-year-old, and funny enough, it's a horse that starts much shorter on the tote every time it runs than on the bookmakers. Why do you think? It's the name. Who Shot the Barman? Okay, Who Shot the Barman won the Sydney Cup at last after 5 attempts for Blake Shin and Chris Waller.
Chris Waller, he's doing a great job. James, the stake pot's getting a little bit bigger in Saudi Arabia now.
Yeah,
that's very interesting, the figures they're putting out, eh?
Well, if you talk to anyone from that area, and Mike de Kock will tell you this, that the best dirt track in the world is in Saudi Arabia.
There you go.
That track is unbelievable, apparently. Absolutely fantastic. And Mike says he'll go there to race anytime. Well, now I'm sure you're going to be going to race here this time. Because the 23rd of February, they're putting on a $29 million race day. Their big race, there's a 1.25 miles on the dirt, $16 million. So they now put this race
next
right
February.
In the middle of the Pegasus World Cup, which is the end of January.
Yeah.
That's on Met Day.
Yes.
And the Dubai World Cup. Now, how many people are going to go? The interesting thing was when I read the article, how many people are going to go for the Pegasus World Cup where you pay $1 million entry fee?
Yeah.
And not rather go for the Saudi Arabia race.
Very good.
The interesting thing about the Saudi track is they say you can come from anywhere. It's not like those speed bias tracks like Dubai and a lot of the American tracks. So that gives horses that may be grass horses a chance to race in this race. Fantastic.
Yeah,
fabulous news. And the Saudis want to make their name. They've now won.
Watch this space.
Yeah, I think they won. Etihad, isn't that Saudi?
I don't know what group it is. I'm sure it's Dubai. But hasn't Neil Bruss been out there?
Yeah, Neil Bruss is training there.
He's training out there, yeah.
He told me he's a year to go, so he'd probably wait to win one of these races.
Yeah,
but he said that he's going to retire. Talking about retirement, well, first of all, before we go there, the favourite for the Guineas in the Derby is a horse called Saxon Warrior. okay, trained by O'Brien as normal. And the latest off the press. Oh. Wait, I'll get the latest. I'll get the latest off the press.
That could be Aiden.
Yeah, I've got
Aiden.
it. Hello, Aiden. Yeah, latest off the press.
Saxon
Warrior. Yeah, okay, we'll tell the guys. Thanks so much, Shane. Take it easy.
There you go. I knew he'd come
straight
through for you.
Through. It's unbelievable how when you ask these guys to make a call, they make the call.
Saxon Warrior.
Saxon Warrior is not having a prep run. You can get in and back him. You heard the story. You can get in and back him now. So it's very nice of him to phone. I'm very pleased that he got hold of us, and we're ready to go.
Absolutely. Well, on a more tragic note, James, Bill Nack. Now, for those of you who don't know Bill Nack was a racing journalist, sporting journalist. He worked for Sports Illustrated. He died of cancer now. He wrote a book, a story on Secretariat, one of the best books you'll ever read on racing, and he wrote about racing. He used to go every single day to Secretariat's box, and when Secretariat was euthanized, when its feet were gone, he was out there, and he wrote an article. Really, I read it again the other day, and you got to well up reading it. It's just the most fantastic article. And Bill Nack was so good, James. He could recite the last 5 minutes or so of The Great Gatsby.
Yes,
and it's a fantastically written piece, and and it's sad to see him to go because he is sort of synonymous with racing in America. You know, one of the great journalists, Bill Nack.
Well, he wrote boxing, he wrote all types of other things, but his greatest work, if you haven't read it, has got to be Secretariat, The Making of a Champion, it's called. It's a book that every single horse lover should have. And as you say, one of those wonderful writers, you know. Just talking about that, how's your book coming along? Because, you know, we haven't heard much about this lately. Have you not found a publisher? Is it
it's never been the case. It's about timing. You know, some of it's dated, and we're going to have to reinvent some of it. But it's there. It's in its death throes, so to speak. Well worth reading.
Yeah, well worth reading. Well,
if you're into humour,
we'd like to get hold of it, but the thing is, if it's not published, you can't read it.
That's true. You know, things. You know, Confederacy of Dunces became a bestseller because it was posthumously brought out. You know.
Okay, so we got to wait for you to die, but you know that only the good die young. So
I'm safe. I'm safe.
Yeah. We got to wait a long time.
If you can, read that book. I've got it and I've read it. It's a masterpiece. And anything you can read on racing or sport by Bill Nack, you've got to read.
Now, we're going to close up, and we're going to close up with someone that's making waves here at Gold Circle. He's our social media expert. His name is Tawanda Tarivanga.
Yeah, Tawanda Tarivanga.
Yeah.
He's, I've seen his work. I've met with him. He's a young guy, very positive. His father worked for Gold Circle and has worked for 2 decades for Gold Circle, so it's wonderful that his son's come through like this.
Well, what they did was they found him filming a whole lot of things on the race course and said to him, okay, let's get onto social media, let's see what you can do. And I think he's doing a great job. You get some great footage from him.
Yeah.
So we got a little insert which we're going to finish off with, and then Paul will speak to Peter Gibson about the Charity Turf Challenge.
To the haters, the doubters, the nations that prohibit and ban, to anyone that has ever told anyone who wants to have fun, they can't. This video is for you. Do what you used to. Play it safe. Don't risk it. Don't go to places you don't know. Stick to what you know. Ask permission. Do what is expected of you. This is terrible advice. If I would write an autobiography, a book about my life, one title that would work would be Do What You Don't, because that idea encapsulates everything I've ever done. Like when I wanted to go and bet, but my friends were like, you don't bet. I was just on number 5. Or when I said I wanted to meet the CEO of Gold Circle, and my dad said, you don't just meet the CEO. I want to have a job and meet people at the race course. You don't, Tawanda. You don't go to the race course. And to go even further, if I were to characterize this new generation of horse bettors and racecourse goers, what we did is, we did what we didn't do. And now, we wouldn't have it any other way. What's up, man? What's going on? You don't go to the racecourse because it's for rich people. But you get your crazy friends to dress up like rich tycoons, eat pasta on a beautifully set picnic table, and you do. Right, bro? Yes! You don't go to the racecourse because you don't like horses. But you like beer, brine, wine, kids, and you do. You're afraid you lose money when you bet. But you get to Greyville and you place your bet anyway because it's fun. You don't need to look smart, you don't need to pay or tickets, you don't need to own a horse. When you're at Greyville, you don't need anybody in your ear telling you how you can and can't be. They call us punters, speculators, high rollers.
What the hell does that mean?
But we know something they don't. We are here for the happy hours, the beef breweries. And aside from racing, the cage fighting, music festivals, India fairs, car festivals, and many, many more other cool events. When you're at Greyville, all you need is your friends, a good mood, and you need to choose a favorite horse. And then you'll create a story you want to share. Something that you do. And then the rest is history. And if you do it right, you'll win money, you'll win prizes, and you'll make friends from places you've never been. If you don't have horse racing in Germany, your life becomes so exciting, so cheerful, you won't even have time to process it. So to my fellow doers, I say keep doing, keep exploring. And never forget, you don't have to listen to anyone, because in this new world, no one knows anything.
Hi.
The haters, the doubters, are all drinking slushies at Lagoon Beach, and we are a huge tsunami. Do what you don't.
Well, there you go, Tawanda, roaming the racecourses of Gold Circle, picking up some wonderful footage. We'll be back with Your Call and Peter Gibson.
Hi and welcome to another edition of Your Call, where we've got the CEO of Racing South Africa, Peter Gibson, in with us. We're going to talk about the Charity Turf Challenge. We're going to talk about the function there in Hong Kong and, in broader terms, what's happening with our exports and how people are waiting for that to happen. Peter, thanks very much for coming in.
As usual, Paul, same to you. Thank you.
And Peter, it's obviously the big week coming up. We've got the sales coming up next week. Yeah. I know you used to be involved. It's going to be a good sale. It wasn't a great sale last week, but we've got to hope that things keep going the right way.
Yeah, look, of course, you know, I think people made a choice,
yeah.
You know, whether they went to both or one or, you know, and of course, I think the national sale is going to have quite a lot of international interest.
Yes.
Hong Kong Jockey Club are expected to come back.
Oh, good.
That was a commitment they made when they came to Cape Town, so they're coming. I'm sure that Tony Millard, David Ferraris will yes. come out.
Yeah.
And there might be one or two others that spring a surprise on us. So I think that the Bloodstock South Africa guys have been hard at it.
Yeah.
And I think there will be good international interest.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
Right, Peter, let's first talk about the Charity Turf Challenge that happens every year. It's very interesting. I glanced at it, Peter, and I didn't peruse it. I just glanced at it, and I found that it's going to be tough to find horses. I don't know who the best horses around are at the moment.
Look, our biggest job, obviously, is to make sure that we include horses that are going to participate and not those that have been sold or are on their way to being sold or are injured. That's always our challenge every year. And addressing that concern, we've increased, one of the changes that we've made, we've increased the number of horses per list to 12. So instead of having the 10, which was in the past, we've now got a 12 number of horses per team.
Same amount?
Same amount of money, 50 rand an entry, but we're only going to record the top 10 point scorers of that list.
Okay,
so in other words, it's almost like we've got two reserves that you can play for. Yeah. And I think the other big factor is that for the first time, we're now incorporating Joburg's finale, the Premier's Champion Challenge Day, which introduces a whole range of opportunities.
But what is that, 5th of May?
The 5th of May.
My birthday, Peter, bear that in mind.
Happy birthday in advance, Lef.
Gifts costly and numerous, please.
Of course I will.
Yeah, anyone out there, 5th of May? Extra large, size 11 shoe, and alcohol. Is that about right?
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Right,
I'll maybe throw in a few free entries to the Charity Turf Challenge for you guys as well. The Winning Ways team. We're going to get you
we were
6 free entries. How's about that?
We were 27th one year.
Oh, they're good.
So we'll be getting better. Dees is the talking man.
He is the talking man, and we're great to know or to receive the news. The Track and Ball, our title sponsor, thanks to those guys, have now employed Dees for the duration of the Charity Turf Challenge to be an ambassador. So Dees is going to float around the totes in the next couple of weeks, and they'll send out a schedule, or we'll update everybody as to when Dees loves the competition. He's passionate.
He's the right
knowledgeable.
Man. He's the right man.
And I tell you what, without Dees's, enthusiasm, of course, and knowledge of the competition, we're hoping that we can increase the numbers. But I think the basics are that the competition starts on Friday the 4th, which is when the Drill Hall Stakes is, and the Daisy Guineas meeting. So that's the starting point. But of course, the next day introduces the Premier's Champion Challenge Day. It's the SA Derby, it's got the Oaks, it's got the computer form sprint.
So it's a big
it's a challenge this year to know whether you're going to include a horse like, let's say, for example, Legal Eagle, who will obviously line up for that Premier's Champion Challenge, but might not come to Durban. So you're going to go for the 20 points that you could get if he wins that race, or do you leave him out and build your team around horses that are going to compete in Durban? So it's a challenge, it's a bit of an enigma. We've battled a little bit trying to conclude the horse list, and we're going to get that done today and tomorrow. The entry form will be out. So appreciate the patience shown by our lots of fans of the competition, but everything should be done and dusted by tomorrow night.
What are the prizes? What if I win?
So first prize, as per usual, is 100,000. Second is 20,000. Third is 10,000. If we get more entries, we always then pay out whatever is left over in the kitty.
Okay.
And then on Vodacom Durban July, there's the standalone prize. And just a point on that, the same applies, the point scoring, 12 list, top 10 point scorers only.
So that's the guy who gets the most points on Vodacom Durban July Day only is entitled to a prize.
20,000.
Are you going to do your monthlies?
Yes, we got the Tab Gold betting vouchers, so we'll do a weekly draw.
Sponsored by them?
Yes, sponsored by them.
Are there any other sponsors?
Track and Ball, of course, is our title sponsor, and they've got a nice benefit for those. Yes, I think it's a nice word. Yes, an attractive benefit for first-time online account holders.
Oh, good.
So if you deposit your 50 rand, they'll top it up by 200 rand.
Wow.
Yes, so that's something that the guys will try and pursue. And Dees will be plugging that away fast.
Dees will have guys on the list. 200 rand free bet.
So I think that basically covers the nuts and bolts of the new competition.
Okay,
so,
Peter, let's just clarify certain areas. What is the last meeting?
The last meeting's on the final meeting at Greyville. It's the Gold Cup meeting.
Gold Cup meeting, yeah.
So that's the final day, 28th of July.
And just to go back, if you win a Group 1, you're going to get more points in a Group 2 than a Group 3.
Yes,
So that's structure.
I think everybody knows that the points structure has not changed. It's 20 points for first in a Group 1, 14 for second, 10 for third, and so it goes down. If you win an ordinary race, you get a point. Listed races 2, And so it goes up.
So basically, until the drill laws run, you can get your forms in?
Absolutely, yes.
They used to have a table here. Dees and one of his friends had a table here.
That will be the same, you know. So we'll have on-course representation on the day.
A feature race, yeah.
Of course, yeah.
And people who are going up on the 5th of May, people who race in Gauteng, have every chance of getting involved?
Of course.
Online?
But, yes, online we push because that's obviously makes it a little bit easier for us, and you can take multiple entries. That's another factor.
As many as you like.
As many as you like. There's no limit to the number of entries you take. But there is a 6th free entry per 5 entries you take.
Do you take one, Peter?
I'm not allowed to.
Does Dees take you one?
No, he won't be allowed either.
No, he's been one of the favourites.
So none of the team
at the start.
Exactly. None of the team that actually is involved in the administration is allowed to take.
Any track and ball guys? As their headline sponsor or something like that, are they allowed to?
No, they're not allowed to. No.
Okay,
of course, because you know we want to make sure that there's no
comebacks.
No, credibility issues. So none of the team that's involved will take an entry.
Okay, so it's great. It's great to follow.
Yeah,
have we ever had someone win it twice?
No, we haven't. We've had some guys who have been up there all, you know, there's some guys that play well, but we've never had a double winner. No, not yet.
All right, Peter, that's interesting. That's great. Now, the other day I saw a photo of you and a whole gaggle of friends out in Hong Kong. Tell us all about that. What was it?
You know, obviously with the 2 sales that came about this month, the 2, 850 yearlings, I know how are we going to find buyers for that number of horses? And so we took a decision that, given that Singapore Sling was running in the Hong Kong Derby, which was a great feat in itself, we took a team of people, as Racing South Africa used to do over the years. You know,
how do you select who you're going to take?
Look, we took the sales companies. We invited them because they are the commercial arm of our business, and pretty much that was it. There were a few guys that went on their own anyway. Grant Knowles happened to be in Hong Kong at the time. But really it was the sales companies. We obviously worked through the South African consulate, so we had Davy Chu, that long-standing marketing executive, and the CG of the Consul General of the consulate, Mr. Nzinga, and his deputy, I think Lionel Pillay is his name. Great bunch of guys, and they obviously helped us with all we had a function in a hotel in Hong Kong, so we invited mostly the media.
Were there speakers?
Yes, there were. Myself, Adrian Todd, updated everybody on the protocols. And then, of course, we had a really nice insert, an important comment from one of South Africa's big supporters, David Hoy, who has had horses with Tony Millard, now is actually racing with David Ferraris. He's got a few horses.
He's got with Millard and Ferraris?
He's had with Tony. He's now moved across to David.
Has he with Tony anymore?
No, I don't think so. So there's been a sort of just a temporary separation. But David has got Golden Sleep. In fact, there's another chap that I think has got Golden Sleep. Now, he won the Guineas, but he actually hasn't acclimatized all that well. But he's got a very nice Visionaire colt called Sleep Education now. It used to be called Vilakazi. But David basically got up and said, look, I love South Africa, and I believe that more Hong Kong owners should come to South Africa. It's great value, horses are tough, they run well, and he's been a great supporter, as has, of course, Robert Chung, who's had a long-standing relationship with Robert Chung, with Roy Magna. In fact, Robert was telling me that he's now, I think, bought over 40 horses from South Africa over the years. I think his expenditure was something like 20 million. He's imported 12 horses. He's had some great success, including a filly called, what was her name? Oh, she ran in the King's Stand Stakes in Ascot. I forget her name now. She'll come to me now. I forget. Yeah. Anyway, she's a Jalad filly. But Robert has been a long-standing supporter of South Africa, and I think it was important that those guys mingled with the press, and obviously some of the people involved in the Hong Kong Jockey Club, to see just why the South African story is a good one, and why they should be considering South Africa. And of course, with the Hong Kong Jockey Club coming out to our sales as a change, this all brings about an opportunity for more Hong Kong owners to invest in South Africa. Peter, so that was our main focus.
While we're on that tangent, the protocols, which we're all waiting to see something happen with, could ultimately open the gates even more with the people from Hong Kong, if the protocols were easier.
You know, Laf, as we've been speaking for decades.
Decades, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there have been changes in the whole management of the horse export protocol. And I think that Adrian Todd's the guy really you should be speaking to.
Sure. No,
specifically about the technical aspects of what their strategy is.
But a broad picture, Peter. Obviously, it's not your department now.
No, but you know, we've had a deep involvement from the time that we started this whole operation. But Adrian's setup is now, they've created a new not-for-profit company through which funding comes, and they are then in funding veterinarians and the management of the Western Cape and various other initiatives. Of course, lots of engagement overseas as well on a lobbying basis. But I think the fact of the matter is that, as it has been in the past, Europe has a long-standing protocol with South Africa. If we get to the middle of June this year, it will have meant that we have gone 2 years without an outbreak in the Western Cape.
That's soon, Peter.
Very soon.
And if we meet that criteria, what does it mean for us?
That then triggers an audit by the European inspection team.
Immediately?
As soon as South African team, and I call that a team because it's a partnership between government and Adrian's set of team of people. It's a private partnership with government. Once they are happy, and they've had a number of trial runs, dry runs in terms of the audit, to just iron out small issues that might get in the way of the formal audit. But once they're happy, then they will request an audit inspection from Europe. And that will then allow, once that process has taken place, on assuming that it has gone well, the inspection team basically sends a recommendation to the technical committee in the European Union to lift the suspension. So broad strokes, again, timeframes are always there to trip you up, but I mean, it could happen by the end of this year. So in other words, the 24-month period is the middle of June. An audit will take place thereafter. Assuming it's positive, then the European Union will simply change their legislation to remove that current suspension, the temporary suspension.
If, Peter, if the people from Hong Kong are seeing it as a great avenue to buy horses, would they be, in their right, able to push even harder for us?
Of course. So Hong Kong have made public statements that they're looking for new markets. They've already been to Argentina. Of course, they went back to Sydney. I think they bought 5 horses or 6 horses for $5 million Australian dollars. Top-end horses as well, I was quite surprised, and $1 million for a schnitzel. So it just shows you that their sale, when they repackage these horses, is generating good returns for the jockey club. Not that that's their point.
Yeah.
But so South Africa's clearly on their map. There's expansion, obviously, through that new training facility, Chung Fa.
Yeah.
It's going to increase the population of horses by 200. They need new horses. They need probably a more cost-effective product as well. Which
What's the quality of horses like, Peter? Would you be able to answer that?
Look, from what I understand, 12 to 15% of their horse population will never win a race.
Yes.
If you consider that probably 60 to 70% of their population is Australian or Australasian.
Yes.
It shows that there's a hell of a lot of poor horses going into Hong Kong from Australia.
Yeah.
Because of our restrictions, only our top horses are going. So our stats are pretty good. But there's a hang of a lot of buying going on at the moment. I mean, I think there's knowledge that Monk's Hood has gone. There's a horse called Vaquera, I think, which was trained by Robbie Sage. That appears to have been bought. There's talk about, what's the other one? I think he ran into the Derby in the Cape.
No, there's talk. I've been approached by a couple of horses of mine, so they are seriously looking.
Yeah, so there seems to be a real focus on South Africa now, and that's great for us. Obviously, they're taking out our better quality animals, but the next step is with Hong Kong leading the way, buying yearlings. Robert Chung's model is to leave them here, take out the good ones, and of course we encourage that.
Down at the CTS, there were 2 guys who came out from the Hong Kong Jockey Club. Are they the same 2 coming
in the January sale?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. That's Mark Richards.
Yes.
And Nick.
I met Mark.
Yes.
I didn't meet Nick, but they're
a
active.
Partnership. Yeah, of course. They travel the world looking for horses for the Hong Kong Jockey Club. The horses they buy this year, they've changed their sort of system slightly. They used to offer them as breeze-ups as 2-year-olds, and they're now delaying that until 3. So our horses that are going to be bought this year will only be sold in 2020. So they'll be repackaged, they'll be sent out on the current routes through Mauritius into Europe, where they'll be basically prepared for export in 2020. So a long time to get them into the system.
They need the gates to open.
Yeah. So look, that's
good news.
That's in a nutshell what we think is going to happen this year.
Okay, Peter. Well done. Thanks for filling us in, and let's hope we get a lot of entries in the Charity Turf Challenge.
Yeah, that'd be great. Everybody could participate,
yeah,
we'd welcome that.
Peter, we will see you up at the national sales next week.
Indeed.
Thanks very much for popping in. There we are. There's Peter Gibson. I hope you gleaned some info from that, but let's keep our fingers crossed things go the right way.
Your world of winners is now online at www.teletrack.com. Simply subscribe to log into your account from any mobile device in South Africa and access a wide variety of content from our membership package options. Listen in via a live audio stream, catch live racing locally and internationally, or view a wide variety of Teletrack magazine shows to stay informed and updated on the go at any time. It's never been easier. Go to teletrack.com now.